Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
We were counting which episode this is. Can you tell we?
Oh my god, this episode 11.
Yeah, this is
Can we-
episode
can-
11. Hello!
Okay.
And welcome to episode
Alzheimer's.
11
Yes. Welcome
of
to
the
episode
Opinionated
11.
podcast.
Yes.
So,
We
Jeebus.
told
you know what
remember
season
number
this is?
Oh my god.
I think it's episode 11.
I woke
It is episode 11.
I woke up eight minutes ago and I somehow still have more functioning brain than all of you. How?
Yeah, that says a lot about us.
that's the yeah.
So, to continue on with the theme of the previous episode, today is Spooktober storytelling time.
Yes.
The four hosts
Yes.
of this lovely, lovely podcast will be telling what we deem as horror stories. Although
What we deem as horror.
yeah,
What we deem as horror
I've
story.
been told that it's not very the stories that other hosts have prepared are not very scary. So I don't know, but I know that mine is probably not either. But yeah. Oh, so who do you guys want to go first? Oh wait, let's introduce ourselves first. It's been a while.
Oh
since
yeah, the most important part.
The most important part, and then we always
Hello,
forget to
it's
introduce
I,
ourselves.
The main character,
Yes.
Wendy.
No,
Yes.
No, you're not.
Not
No.
really
I am
important.
You're
Get
not
out.
important, Wendy. Shut up.
get out.
No, I will not. I claim this title. Your turn too.
Do not care. Don't ask.
Wait, who? Am I the?
Your
Oh.
turn.
Okay. My brain is not functioning right now. Hi, I'm Aether, and two or Aether, call me whatever. And I go by any pronouns, and right now I can't really load. I can't really comprehend what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm very confused. I woke up very late today, and then I listened to that one scary story that I was about to tell again to like remember everything. And then I kind of forgot everything. Next person.
Okay, Elena, you might also want to call me Lena, or any other fun name you can come up with. I didn't wake up late this morning. I woke up actually, it's not late, but it's not early either. It's like around 7 a.m., the healthy time, the appropriate time to wake up in the morning, right? And then I was productive. I was reading 15 pages of book. Before I got into class, I got out of class and now I'm here telling you guys about my supposedly scary story that I don't find that intimidating. But okay, that it will be fine, right? Next person.
Oh god.
It's your turn.
I know this kind of stuff me. Rather genius. But, anyways. Hello everyone. I'm RC, average red lurker, gamer, tech enthusiast, I don't know. Side hobby
I swear
photography,
he's
I
our age.
guess.
He sounds like he's 30, but he's our age.
Yeah.
Side hobby of photography and cocaine.
Yeah, cooking. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you forgot.
That's because I just woke up 8 minutes ago, Kencho, and that is not a joke.
We literally just called him, hey RC, we're starting the podcast, and he's
Yes.
like, I just woke up.
I just woke
What?
up. I have yet to
We
have
all
a coffee.
Bad sleeping schedules. Be like me. Sleep at 10 p.m.
No,
and
no,
wake
no,
up
no,
at
no, no,
4.
no. I
No,
s-
you wake up at 3. That's weird.
You wake up at 3. Who the hell wake up at 3? What are you gonna do
Yeah,
at
and
3?
you're like, good morning. You text your friends, good morning at 3. That's the real scary story.
Like I went to bed. I went
4 now, okay?
I
It's
went-
4 now.
I went to bed at 1:30 this morning because I was playing Valorant with my friends, alright?
Yeah, well,
Just
I woke
sleep
up at
and wake up
4.
like a normal person. Jeez.
Nice.
Or however normal.
Alright, so now that we've introduced ourselves, it's time for our scary stories. So,
Well-
who wanna go first for that one?
Okay. Before we do that, how about we define Oh well, no, not really. How about we give our own
How
take
about we
on-
define what a scary story?
No. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Well, at least give people some background to what you usually read, what kind of stuff you usually read, I guess.
What I usually read?
Yeah.
I just go on the no sleep subreddit and then read whatever. I
Really?
don't I read I just read like scary stories online, or like sometimes I find like random recommendation of like someone narrating it, and then I just listen to it as I peacefully fall asleep and dream. I also watch a lot of I watch a lot of those like analog horror.
Oh.
I like analog horror. I don't know, it's the visual that's pretty captivating.
I mean, for me,
No idea what that is.
honestly, I don't think I read scary story. Like back then, there was an era called creepypasta, so there was that, but then it like died down. So my, interest with it
Oh,
also
yeah,
died
well.
down.
Creepypasta, I think, is still going on. Like, to say, like, a great example would be like SCP Foundation. It's us.
Okay, so there was
I read SCP a lot. Like, it's still definitely going. There's still a lot of
Yeah.
people interested in it.
I mean, okay. So creepypasta, there was an era, there was a time.
Oh, yeah.
And side note though, speaking of creepypasta, there's something about like Slenderman. It just really scared the shit out of me. The mental image of him really does, because I still remember when I first read the story about him. That night, it was like my first night sleeping like alone. It was back in like primary school. I was sleeping alone without my parent, and then I couldn't sleep all night because all I could think of is him picking at my window
That's
and
true.
trying to do something
Oh
to
my
me.
God.
The mental image of him just scares me. Clown, like scary clown, might not scary, but Slenderman, a different brand.
Wow.
Okay, but then besides from that, I don't think I read the scary story like fictional. I do watch a lot of criminal documentary, if that ever counts as scary story.
Oh, no.
I mean, they're pretty brutal, so.
Just because it's brutal, it doesn't mean it's horror. Like, at least for me, a horror story should haunt you. Like how Slenderman's haunt, Lena as you go to bed.
I mean, technically, you can kind of count those documentary as a form of horror story. Like, you can make a story based from it,
Oh, technically,
Like,
yeah.
it could be turned into horror. At its core, is a report of an event that happened.
Yeah,
But
definitely. Like criminal
like,
documentary, like is really
it's
easy.
still
to
it's still
turn
pretty
into horror.
haunting. Yeah,
It's
it can
haunting,
be turned
yes,
into horror,
but, like-
still, I guess.
There's this thing about documentary, like especially about cases that happened long ago, and they don't have like the proper enough like image of the victim and the killer to show. So like whenever they talk about something really haunting and just generally disturbing, because they only have one picture of the killer, they keep zooming it into their eyes, and you're just watching it with all the creepy stuff going on in the background. You're just looking straight at them in the eyes. Like, why would you do that?
Like looking the killer straight in the eyes, and you start seeing that face.
What's
like,
even worse, some of them would like even edit, like flash the picture of the killer. I'm like, oh, I got it. Yeah, we get it. That's the killer.
Yeah.
You can stop doing that now. It's burning into my retina.
It's very typical of you know how those edits, like, they flash a lot of stuff just randomly, and it's like at one point it just gets annoying. It's like it's super repetitive. It's not that scary unless you're playing like jump scare games. Yeah.
me, a horror, like Archie said, a movie has to be like really haunting. I hate horror movies. Like, not like hate it as in like despise it, but like I just go out my way to actively avoid it. I'm someone that's like very easily scared and easily like startled. So
Well,
I-
yeah, you actively
Right.
avoid it because you can't take a single ounce of it. Like, you watch 5 minutes of it, and you'll probably not sleep for next week or so.
Yes, but like that doesn't like because of that I hardly ever like read any horror like books or watch any horror movies. However, a lot of the things I read do have horror elements to it, and they do have like haunting, and like that sort of like haunting like thing in your mind. The story I'm going to tell today isn't horror, but if it were real, you would definitely be terrified. And that's like the kind of horror that I kind of like, because like no matter how like scary it is, movies like Annabelle and stuff, like even if it is, or like even like the Haunting of House Hill, I forgot what it's called, even if it is like scary, it isn't real. so I'm not really too into it. I don't really really feel scared from it. But things that can definitely
Oh,
happen
you don't.
in real life.
No. But you
That's
don't know. You
truly
don't know
scary.
if it's real or not, though. You don't know.
Marcy, I can't hear a thing you're saying.
You don't know
The
if it's
true
real or
horror
not,
is
though.
his mic.
Yes.
Shut. You don't know if it's real or not,
It
though.
probably sounds fine on like the viewer's like standpoint, but like once you export it and once you edit it, it's gonna sound really bad. Like that happened before.
No, I'm
And that's
recording
the
this
true
locally.
horror. What
I'm-
happened with his mic?
Shut.
True horror here.
But
I know
like,
he's trying to tell me to shut, but like I can't hear anything, so I
Oh
just
my
hear
God.
like a glitchy or whatever.
okay, screw you.
A glitchy aunt.
Oh, it's setting in the mood for us. Like it's also raining outside and we're telling spooky stories.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
it's cold
like
as hell
raining really
outside.
hard It's getting pretty cold lately.
Funny thing, yesterday I went for a photo shoot, and as soon as I stepped my 2 frail little feet outside, it started raining.
Oh, yeah.
So that's great.
True. Oh yeah, RC, what type of
I-
horror do you usually? Don't say NCP. We know. We know.
Well, yeah, it's the
We
only
know
thing
you-
that I read. Ever.
Of course. I mean, there's a lot of content when you talk about SCP. but,
Yeah.
like, it?
SCP Foundation it's not just one thing. Like it's not just one book comprised of story. It's like
Yeah,
it's more like a whole library.
Yeah, it's a collection. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
a
almost like a
collection.
genre at this point, pretty much.
Funny thing, it originated
Like a
as like
subgenre.
yeah. Funny thing, it originated as like a some of you guys might not know about this, but do you guys know 4chan?
Oh yeah, we all know 4chan.
We
Pretty sure
all
we
know
all.
that very cursed website.
Yeah. So originally SCP started as like I think a article or a thread on a formatted thread on slash paranormal like slash X or something on 4chan. And I think the first ever SCP created was SCP-173. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, chat. So yeah, SCP-173 was the first ever SCP to be created, and the description for it was a peanut-sized statue, a peanut-shaped statue with graffiti all over it, made out of concrete
Yeah, this
and
one's
rebar.
pretty famous.
Yeah, I think
Pretty sure there's
I
like
think,
pictures of it.
this one is probably the most well known among the SCPs.
Or like even outside of it, like
Yeah, even
people in general.
people in
know
general
what
would
it is.
randomly, people in general would randomly know what SCP-173 is, but don't know what the SCP Foundation is, just because SCP-173 is more famous and people have heard of it before. So, anyways, back to SCP-173. So, it's a peanut-shaped statue made from concrete and rebar with graffitis all over it. And the moment when you look at it, it's fine, it moves really slowly. But the moment you look away from it, it'll move at lightning fast speed and just snap your neck.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Terrifying.
And this wasn't and it's still being developed, by the way. The SCP-173 story is still being developed to this day. That there's a new I don't know what you should call this, like development in story, that it's apparently duplicating,
Ooh.
and
Very fun.
it has taken over the entirety of the Northern America, and
Very fun.
Europe, like half of Europe.
It will come to Asia soon. Let's go. We can all meet our doom at the hands of a fucking peanut statue.
Yeah, and before I go further, there's this classification of certain events. Yeah, in the case that SCP does breach and break the world's normalcy. So there is one event in particular called, I think, XK scenario end of the world. So
Okay, who in the who what?
XK scenario end of the world.
Oh, Oh, it's
So-
another end of the world thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently, the 173 scenario gets so bad that they had to nuke everything. As in
Jesus.
literally everything. And
Everything
you,
is in like
there are still
even
yeah,
human
like
civilization.
yeah, like even if there's they extracted as much civilian as possible, nuke the whole thing. And even then, there are still some 173 instances left over.
Oh my
So
god.
then that eventually leads to the XK scenario, which leads to some more stuff. And then there's this one character in particular. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Dr. Bright or something. Basically, he hits a reset button and just resets the entire thing. Back when SCP-173 was a single instance.
Wait.
Basically, it's a very deep story.
It's a very deep story.
Very plot based.
Yeah.
It's really
Very convoluted.
Yes, and that's another characteristic of the SCP Foundation thing as well. Like, a lot of the stories there are interconnected.
Yeah, like a lot of like the main stories in SCP, they're connected to each other.
Yeah.
But then sometimes they post some really weird jokey stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole like /J, no -J like board for it as well for all the
/J.
joke SCPs.
Yeah.
Some of it are very very funny, like hilarious. I would definitely recommend you checking it out.
Despite it being horror at its core.
Yeah. Well, no,
Who
I
else?
wouldn't.
Yeah,
To be fair, I wouldn't say SCP Foundation is just horror and horror only. Like
It's
you,
like
It can also be
Yeah.
thriller and action.
yeah,
and
you
a
can
plot.
find
I guess.
you can find plenty of like wholesome stuff on there.
Wholesome.
Yeah, like there's some stuff that's really really wholesome on there.
Can you say wholesome?
Yeah, wholesome.
Yeah, wholesome.
Like wholesome drama. You can find everything there.
Mildly questionable, but okay.
Who else wants to tell their scary, probably not scary story?
Alright.
It's not scary.
Yeah, Lena, go ahead.
Not really a storytelling way. It's like introduce your story at this point.
Yeah.
Girl, I don't even
Well,
know.
if
'cause,
we
like,
tell a story, then it's gonna be really long. Yeah, and we're gonna
It's
spoil
be
it for
like 4
everyone.
hours.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we're gonna spoil it for everyone. So
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
true.
make the first story short. It's from a personal experience. But the thing is that there's this thing about funeral in like Vietnam. Rural areas just really scare the shit out of me.
oh yes, it's always
So
a
the
rural
first
area.
one is that the first one's like a few years ago. My uncle died because of a heart attack. He was at work. So the night he died, I saw him in my dream. Not in dream, but like I don't know, but like so back then I didn't live in an apartment, right? I really live in like a house with like, floor, like one first floor, second floor. So my room is in the third floor, and the night he passed away, I couldn't attend his funeral because I have like exam the next day. So I remember going down to the first floor to like, drink water, and which is, by the way, is a very brave act because if you live in a house and you know that how dark it is and how dangerous, it's not dangerous, but the general vibe of walking from third floor down to first floor.
Oh yeah, you
At
used to live in a
night,
house
alone.
like that, yeah.
So I went to take, I went to like drink water, and then I saw. It's not that I saw him in front of me, but I was just hearing stuff, like him talking to me. It was scary, but pretty sure I'm just hallucinating. The second thing is that the reason why I said I'm scared of funeral in rural area is because I attend my grandmother's funeral, and I don't want to insult anyone by saying this, but there's this thing. So before they take the what do you call it? The cabin.
The what?
The
The thing
The
to
what?
store the dead.
The
Yeah,
coffin.
the
Coffin.
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 The
the
coffin.
cabin.
Yeah. Oh yes, the cabin.
Yeah.
The cabin.
No, this is supposed to be scary.
As in
This
the
is supposed
NBC
to be
series, The Cabin. Okay.
Okay, so before they take the coffin into like, a place where you just kind of burn the dead body, if you get what I mean. So before that, there's I don't know if this is a traditional thing in like home, in like, rural areas, but before you take the coffin to the burning place.
The morgue. The morgue.
Yes, very good with words. Okay, so before you take it to the place, you have to like, I don't know how to describe it, but you have to hold the coffin high enough, and then every like child of that dead person has to like sit below that coffin,
Oh, wow,
and
really?
the coffin has to go through all of the heads. I don't know what's the point of that.
Is
but
that like
basically
a
when
thing
you
at
did
your
that-
place?
I've
We
never-
don't do that
Yeah,
in my
I
family.
don't know, bro.
I don't do that
But the
too
thing,
either.
but the thing that when they did that, everyone was crying, and it was just not like normal crying. It was literally screaming, crying, sobbing. Uh, it was, it is just haunting to me. See, like
Yeah,
a
they
bunch of
were, like-
people like screaming, like, "Oh, please
Well,
don't
yeah,
go!"
of
and
course,
why would you
it's like,
leave me?"
it's
It was so
traumatic.
fucking scary. Like, I get it that you're sad, but it just
I get it that you're
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
sad.
think it's
Right,
really
it's
scary.
sad, like,
I would argue that it's more like traumatic than scary.
it's like
Technically-
it's not traumatizing. It's just scary.
Okay.
The thing is, it's very haunting because like in Vietnam, there's always like whenever they mourn for someone, they always like seem to like amplify the like the wailing and like the sobbing and the screaming because like we don't do the through the head thing, but I remember everyone crying and like screaming pretty loudly. Like it's just a thing here. I don't know what the
Really?
cultural.
When my
Thing
great grandma
is-
had her funeral, that was like the last funeral I went to. It was very quiet.
Oh, mine was loud, dude.
Yeah,
it was
mine
so
was
loud.
loud.
There was
Loud.
screaming and crying.
I was 5. I didn't understand why everyone was so loud, but everyone's so loud, dude.
I understood, but I wasn't really
I mean,
to
that's
do that.
two of my story.
Yeah, I
It's not
can't do
that
that.
scary, but you get the vibe from it,
Hey,
right?
haunting.
The
I mean,
haunting
it's-
vibe.
It's something that you have to be there to like really understand
Yeah.
how like haunting the sound of everyone screaming and wailing and crying as if
everyone.
like you're.
And I was just standing.
It's
in
like
the
they're
middle.
dying, not someone they love died.
And like I was just standing in the middle, and I was like, I don't even know
What is
how to
going on?
react. Cause like me too, like I'm sad for the loss and my loss at the same time too. But like, you
Well,
just calm
I
down.
mean,
You're scared.
I guess each people have like their different way to express mourning. I guess so. We can't really comment on that.
Yes, the whole. There were like 50 people at that funeral, and everyone was like screaming. So I was like,
The best way to cope with trauma, screaming.
yes.
Just scream your heart out. And
The weirdest thing is
Yeah.
like after everyone screamed and wailed so loudly, they went back to being kinda low key happy and just like feasting. And then I'm like, wait, what? hold,
I know, right?
stop right there.
Well, I don't think they would be happy, but
But
No,
No,
they
in
we
my
went back to
family,
being
everyone
fine
was
there
pretty
when
cheery
they're
with the
fine.
food. Everyone was pretty cheery with the food, as if they weren't screaming like a few moments earlier. It's just like a switch in emotion, like just like that.
yeah.
Okay,
So
that's my
the scary
story.
stories.
So can
That's
you
the
guys
scary
give
story.
me stories that are better than mine?
Well,
Wendy, can you
yours
tell-
is
I
like
wanna
I
know
guess
what
yours is more
Wendy's-
like personal
An
experience.
experience, yeah.
Mine isn't like scary-ish, but I think it's still like. So if you imagine yourself in the place of the main protagonist, you would find it horrifying too. So when I joined my writing club, right? The head of the author department, she had us all read some of the most like her favorite writings to get a sense of what is expected of us when we write. One of the things I read was Kafka's Metamorphosis.
What?
So when I read it, I sped read it, right? I didn't really like understood. Like it was a good piece of book, but I didn't really understand why it was like so praised until I had the dream that I was exactly like the main protagonist. In that thing, the main protagonist was a normal, like very normal banker, right? He worked as a debt collector at a bank. Very normal, very easy. He was just getting up for the day until he found out that he was turned into a horrible, ugly slug. He couldn't like.
He turned into a what?
He was turned into a slug.
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 Okay, I've never heard
A
that.
slug, like a maggot, a bug basically, but a huge one, a giant one.
No, it's kind of similar to snail, I guess.
And the thing is, though, like that would have been horrifying enough. But the thing is, Kafka goes into detail to describe how he couldn't do any of his regular day-to-day thing. Like, can you because he was a slug now, he can't get up, he can't talk, he can't eat, he can't go to work, and all that stuff. Like, imagine if you woke up one day and say, for example, imagine if you woke up one day, you turn into a slug, you can't draw, you can't get up, you can't eat, you can't go to school, you can't do any of the things.
I would be satisfied.
Normal,
Honestly, I would be satisfied.
Now that's you. I want to be able to turn on my computer and stream. Okay, no time for promoting. No time for promoting.
Yes. Stream our podcast. Very reasonable reason.
The reason why I deem this as a terrifying story is because it was an allegory for any person in the family who was like ostracized because of a thing they can't control, like a mental disease or being gay, stuff like that. And because like his family at first, the main character of his family tried their best to take care of him, but until he becomes like unstable because of his bug form, they just gave up, killed the bug, and then move on as if he never existed, and then praise his sister to be like the breadwinner of the family.
That's why you should turn
yes,
into a bug.
Philosophy 101, philosophy 101 classroom.
If your family
Wendy.
can't do anything,
that happening
just
to
kill.
you, you'd be like terrified too. Like that. It wasn't until that dream haunted me that I realized that this stuff is scary.
I mean, not gonna lie, that does sound scary from like the I guess the main the protagonist point of view. It does seem pretty scary.
I mean, if I were to turn into a bug,
it would be terrifying. That's why I deem it as a scary story, even if it isn't horror. It's more gory, so very horror. And
my story is kind of
second story
similar.
It's actually one I came across like just last night, because I was only planning to tell metamorphosis, but then I came across this. Do you guys know the story of the Leviathan cross?
The what?
Leviathan cross?
I don't think I do.
Leviathan cross, the symbol of the Church of Satan.
Oh yeah. I do.
Oh,
Yes.
I know that, but I.
Oh my god, that
really know
sounds
the story.
interesting. Elaborate. It's a symbol of Church of Satan. Yes, go on.
Yeah. The thing is though, much like that symbol wasn't actually always the symbol of the Church of Satan. It began like really long time ago as like the symbol of hope and dreams, but then it became appropriated into
Satan was the symbol of hope and dream.
Yeah, that cross was once the pagan symbol of hopes and dreams for the goddess Hecate. It was the symbol of hope, dreams, and magic, good things in life.
That's actually pretty interesting. Let me divert you a little bit. So if you play Undertale, there's a song called Hopes and Dream that played as the character theme for a character named Asriel. And Asriel, when that theme played, he reached his final, I guess, quote unquote god form, ultimate form, and he's a goat, the symbol of demonic thing. I find that pretty interesting. Just mentioning that. All right, continue.
I told you that because the symbol of
Leviathan cross.
Whatever. But yeah, the symbol of that cross was once a really positive and happy symbol, but then it became a symbol of terror, of sin and stuff, of Satan. And that isn't the only symbol in history to do this. The reverse cross, the all-seeing eye. And there's one more, the swastika, the Nazi symbol as well.
Swastika.
All of it was one symbol of really positive and good things, but then became incredibly corrupt because.
Well, no, I don't think I think the swastika is just I don't know if it's coincidence or not, because originally it was some kind of symbol from Buddhism for hope. I think. Yeah.
Did you
in a different religion, then if you reverse it in a different religion, it's a religious symbol that's tied to Buddhism. I'm not very sure.
It's a Buddhism
Yeah,
cross
it
or
does
hope or
have
something.
ties to Buddhism as well.
Yeah,
Because,
see.
and it also has ties, ironically, to Judaism, because there was a fighter pilot in World War I that used that very symbol as his personal symbol. But then he was imprisoned and captured in World War II. because he was rich. Very
I'm
funny.
thinking about how self-fulfilled you must be to think of a symbol for yourself. Okay,
Well,
continue.
but the point of this whole thing is that how quick, like how like terrifying it is when a symbol that you've associated all your life to be with, a positive thing, with positive connotations. How easy it is for that symbol to turn into corrupt to like the very symbol evil itself. And the thing I told when I told the co-host that I was gonna tell this story, I said that it was about Pepe the Frog meme.
Oh,
Because
Pepe.
it's true.
Oh yeah.
No. Well, it's not.
You
It's
guys
not
know
horror. I think
frog
it's just
is
more
now
sad.
categorized as a form of hate speech.
It's just sad.
Yeah,
In the story
because
for Pepe the
what
Frog.
started as a character from Boys Club, and then turned into like a very wholesome-ish, like very funny kind of like caricature meme, then turned into a symbol of hate crime. It's like hate speech.
I mean,
Because of course it
I
did.
mean,
both sides of
Why is
Pepe
this
still
story
exist.
getting
So
political rather than scary?
here's a funny thing that I found out recently. So Satan, like back in like the first like I guess like mentions of Satan wasn't exactly like quote unquote evil. He was just like the symbol of like leisure activities like partying and wine and like sex and all the like
Yes,
pleasures
yes.
of life. But then he
Yes.
turned into sin, like the symbol of sin and evil and stuff.
Because
That's kind of
Satan-
interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
Luxurious
the thing
sin.
is, like, what I find scary about this is exactly that. Like a positive and good thing can turn into something incredibly terrifying and like traumatizing even.
Wait.
And, like,
When we
almost
said
blink of an
scary,
eye.
Tori, I
Okay.
didn't think we would go this deep. Why is this moral kind of shit
Anyways,
right now?
You guys
anyways,
wanna
that
hear a
has
typical scary story
that has
now?
been philosophy class 101 with Miss Wendy that no one attended
Clap.
or asked for. Thank you very much.
I
Somehow.
told you I'll be telling about these kind of stories. You
Do
guys
not
let
care,
me.
did not ask.
Technically, we did kind of ask for this.
Yes.
I mean, my story is less philosophical and more mainstream. Everyone knows the back doors. Well, most people do. RC, you know
I
the
know.
back door, right?
I don't. I know it's that
The back, not the
something-
back room, not the back door, the back room, the back
I
rooms.
don't know what.
Oh, that one.
Sounds like someone
No
would get
clip into
murdered.
reality. Okay, so let me explain. So the back rooms originally were a set of images. You know those image where it's like, kind of like, it's like an empty room. It's very nostalgic. It's also kind of creepy because there's no like life or it's just empty. You know those type of picture
Yeah.
of like an empty corner of the room, and it's kind of like it's very nostalgic. Like you've seen it before. You've seen it in your dreams, but you can't quite place your finger on like what is it. It's definitely in your dreams or your childhood before. It's those type of image. So that is what the quote unquote backrooms images were, and the story goes like this. So in our reality, everything follows a set of rules, but sometimes those rules will be broken and reality will glitch for a moment. Like that one video of an airplane randomly stopping in mid-air and not moving and it's pretty close to Earth. Or like sometimes an item just randomly disappeared even though you put it down on your table a few moments earlier, right? So there's this thing called no clipping. So like in video games, no clip usually means when your character.
You can. It's usually in gaming. Well, I'm the gamer here. I guess I should
yeah.
explain.
Yeah, you do.
Well, in video game, usually no clipping means that you use either bug or a exterior program, a third-party program, to essentially make all the walls hitbox non-existent, so collision doesn't happen and you can just go through it.
Yeah, you go through it and then you go through this empty space. You're still in the game. You're just stuck in a different space in the game that's not supposed to be accessible.
Well, no. Well, you can go through walls. Essentially, that's what no clipping means.
Yeah, but like you're still like technically it's still the game that you're in. So imagine in a world where you can go through the wall, but you can't really go back to your normal life. So you just entered this like space, right? So
Cool.
every once in a while in our reality, maybe there's a wall that's slightly darker than the other, or a door
Ooh.
that leads to simply nowhere, like it's not supposed to be there. Maybe you're an unlucky person who happened to collide with that wall, with that object, or with that door, and you will enter what is known as the back room. So essential, and then you're just stuck there with an endless hallways, endless walls, and it keeps happening. Like it's just empty with the fluorescent lights buzzing constantly with no way out. So that's the very core of what the back room like story is. But to add on to it, there's also different levels of the back room. Level 1 to level 0 to level like 999. Well, it just goes deeper. Some I guess in the story I read, there's up to level 2, but essentially here's what happens in each level. So level 0, you go, it's the simple like back room. It's just empty with the occasional there. In addition to these levels, there's also, I guess, creatures or like unspecified living things there that you may encounter upon, walking and finding a way out. And the only way to escape those creatures is to not look at them and run away as far as possible to a different room, right? And the only way to really escape those back rooms is to no clip again. It's to keep no clipping, keep trying to no clip into the next stage. But the thing is, the risk here is you don't know where you're gonna go no clip into. You might no clip into like the beginning of the stage again where you have to start all over. You might be able to go back to your normal world, or you might be able to no clip into a different level, the next level, in which the walls will enclose, the scenery might change a bit, and the monsters get more hostile. In the story I read, up to level 2, the fluorescent lights became hotter and hotter up to like 100 degrees, and it keeps buzzing, and the walls enclose into a very narrow hallway, and it feels suffocating. And the monsters, and the thing is, you don't know in which corner you turn, you might encounter something, and your only chance to escape is to run as far as possible, to keep running. And you just
Oh my
and
God.
I think that's interesting. I think that's the type of horror I like, besides analog horror, which I like
Okay,
because of like the
so
visual.
So
Basically-
so basically,
Okay,
the
so
IKEA
basically-
shopping
basically-
experience.
The idea.
Basically,
It's
your
literally
story
just
is
IKEA.
about-
What you said is basically
very
just
scary,
IKEA.
guys. Very, very scary.
Basically, what you just said is that if you enter a door that seems strange, you will enter a back, like another world. where you will
Basically,
just
if
be
you're
stuck there.
unlucky enough and you collide, or if you touch an object that has
You-
been no clipped,
You got sent to IKEA.
you get sent to IKEA. Yeah.
Funny
I
enough,
guess the real horror of it is like the imagery and like the experience of being trapped in like a void like state. The real, I guess, like horror part, at least for me, is like all the walls and like all the rooms are similar. Like you've seen it in your dreams, you've seen it before. It's like your world, like it's like where you are, but like with nothing in it, and it's just empty, and it's suffocating, and it's hot, it's dark. The fluorescent lights keep buzzing, and with the addition of like there's probably
mean-
like a creature or something lurking. You don't know what's in it. It's just endless. And I think that is pretty dark.
funny enough,
in my
SCP
opinion.
actually has a story that's like somewhat similar to that. I don't know what the number was. I remember it. I remember the title being SCP something the Infinite IKEA, which is basically that minus a
Oh
whole.
yeah. I think I know that too. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's just an IKEA, your average IKEA that you can never escape from.
Oh, and
And all
another
staff
story
are hostile,
recommendation. I won't
like-
go as deep into it as the last one. The last one wasn't very deep, but like, watch the Walton Files. One of the best analog horror I've seen online. Oh my god, it is so good. The story is great. The imagery and the sound is haunting. I wouldn't say anything further because the Walton Files is something I think you should watch yourself to truly experience
Actually,
how haunting it is.
if we're gonna do that, then we might as well like link the stuff that we've just discussed.
I think we should link the
Yeah,
Walton Files. Yeah, people should totally watch it.
Yeah,
I really
I'm gonna
love
link
it.
some stuff down in the YouTube comment as well, our YouTube bio as well. Make sure to check out that upload. But on that topic, that's gonna be it for today's podcast.
Yay.
This has been the Opinionated Coffee Shop podcast. We're live every Saturday, 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This time I remembered. Make sure to all follow our socials: Facebook, Instagram. First Dead, don't care about it. Support us out on Patreon. It helps us out a lot. Keep us motivated as well as allow us to upgrade our gear. We upload our VODs on YouTube.
But it's slightly edited, so it's better
in case
can watch
you
the original.
missed it. In case you missed the stream, we also link some stuff in our YouTube bio as well. So make sure to check that out. And
turn on the notification bell for literally everything, so you don't miss a post. If you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, we also post random, unrelated posts. Very random stuff.
Yes.
It's really fun. Follow us on our TikTok for
we have a TikTok.
short
I totally
teaser.
forgot about that. I don't use TikTok.
We have
Yes,
like a teaser or a trailer on our TikTok. It's very fun. We just basically cut out everything. It's animatic too. Wow, yeah.
It's
pretty interesting.
Hand animated by Bagel herself.
Yeah. I animate.
They want to know who Bagel is.
I have a lot of names.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a lot of names. I use any pronouns and I have a lot of names. Have fun referring to me.
Also, make sure to follow our
Yeah.
Twitch, turn on notification of when we go live. And yeah, that's basically it.
That's it, yeah. What a long outro. Even the intro's not this long.
Yeah, because
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.
bye.
Okay,
Bye
bye.
everyone.
Read our horror. It's really good.
Yes.
I swear.